Okay. So welcome to all the people who are new. And I think some people are new to tapping itself. Other people have experience with tapping. I'm Nancy Kern. I'm in Houston. I do spiritual coaching and guided by soul. And what I mean by that is that I offer emotional and spiritual and energetic healing, because I believe that spiritual well-being thrives on emotional wholeness, and that spiritual and emotional wellness are supportive of physical health as well. And that doesn't mean that spiritual and emotional wellness guarantees physical health. The way that I practice spiritual coaching, it's congruent with science. It's not a bypass. And we can improve our health and our chances of being healthy, but it's not a magic bullet. So besides the EFT tapping, which I love to do, I also do readings from the Akashic Records, and I'm a flower essence practitioner. So if you have any questions about any of that later, you can just email me and we can set up a conversation about that. I believe that every soul has a reservoir of knowledge and wisdom that goes beyond what we can rationally know. And so in the tapping and in all the work I do, I like to support you just to attune to that small and quiet voice of your soul, that voice inside that can take a lot of just being with in order to really hear this part of ourselves. And then we also, most of us have a challenge in just harmonizing our personalities with the deeper knowing and wisdom of the soul. I know for me that I sometimes argue with my soul. My personality wants to go on its stubborn path sometimes, even when it's not wise or loving. So that's the path that I'm on and that I love to support people on, because I think, like, we teach what we're here to learn. So for more than 40 years, I've been on this winding path, and I started out as a home birth midwife in my 20s, and then I transitioned to becoming an energy healer and a craniosacral therapist and an intuitive. I'm also an artist. And my current focus in my art is building and tending earth altars. So I'm tending an earth altar in my garden now, where I pray for the most beneficial outcomes that I can imagine for the earth and all living beings from this pandemic. So we're going to start with a brief introduction to tapping, because for some people tapping is new to them. And what I'm going to do is guide you through a tap of the map of the body. And after that, I'll take you through a guided meditation to help you come more fully into your body and ground into the earth and receive energy or chi. If you answered the questions that I provided in the Prepare for Tapping document, after we do the guided meditation, you can feel free to tap a few words into the chat, and I'll get a sense of what your focus is. Just know that if I don't speak the words that you share with me, don't worry about that, because you can change the words when you speak to reflect how you're feeling and what you're thinking and what you're needing. So the way tapping works is we're going to tap on different points on the body. That's like I call it the map, and we'll dialogue. We have a call and response. So I'll be speaking phrases, I'll be speaking sentences that have meaning and have emotional charge, and you'll repeat after me. And because you'll all be muted, you can repeat after me, and you can also change the words. Like if I say, I'm feeling so sad, and what you're really feeling is angry, you change the words to, I'm feeling so angry. Well, tapping is a somatic process. So the key is to tune into your body and to speak whatever resonates. You may get a stronger buzz on an emotion that's how you're really feeling, even if it's not how you wish you were feeling. So, but go ahead and go with what some people would call the negative. I don't believe that there are such thing as negative emotions. There are just harmful or helpful ways to process and deal with our emotions. So the key to getting the best results with tapping is to go ahead and speak the shadow, give it voice, or what the hidden fear is. It may be coming from a 3-year-old part of you. So tapping doesn't rely on your adult rational ability to make sense of things. We just let it rip. It brings forth, whatever's in the subconscious. And so you might find your focus shifts as you tap. You may have filled out this whole questionnaire and have a sense of what you're going to be focused on, and it might completely take a right turn or a left turn. I've had that happen so many times because something deeper comes forward. So if something like that happens for you, just go with it. You really can't do it wrong. So when I do one-on-one taps, I can totally adjust the dialogue to whatever the person needs. In a group tap, there are times when you just change the words to fit your own truth. Just a little bit about tapping. So in Chinese medicine, our emotions originate in the organs of our bodies, and we have acupuncture meridians that run through the organs of our bodies up to the surface of the skin. And we're going to be tapping on meridian endpoints that are near the surface of the skin that are directly connected to the organs of our bodies. So for example, a lot of people already know this, that in this modality, in this belief system, grief originates in the lungs and heart. And of course, the lungs are a big part of what's going on in the coronavirus, with this illness. And I feel it's very clear to me that we have generations of unprocessed grief in the colonizing cultures, both the people who have been colonized and the people who've done the colonizing. So we've just become very distanced from kinesthetic and somatic ways to truly process the deep emotions, and grief is a difficult one. Fear originates in the kidneys. So we're going to be tapping on points that will help release grief and fear, and that can help move the emotions through so that they don't get stuck. Because when our emotions don't flow, then they can create a lot of stagnation, and it can be physical stagnation in the body. You can feel sluggish or like you just can't get going. And also definitely emotional stagnation, where we're stuck feeling these feelings that we felt when we were 4 years old or 20 years old, or something happened before that we think we should be moving beyond, but it still keeps snagging us. So any questions about any of that? If so, you can raise your hand. Yeah, I think we're good. So I'm going to take us briefly through the map of the tap. Take my glasses off while I do this first time. So just be in a comfortable position if you can, your feet on the ground, that's good. And take a deep breath in through your nose, all the way into your lower belly. And exhale through the mouth with a sigh. An audible sound. We'll do this 3 more times. Really let your jaw hang open. Your jaw hang open and your tongue be really heavy, and want to release the hinge of the jaw. And make an audible sound. So that actual moaning, kind of groaning, sighing sound is healing to the body somatically. In terms of sound healing, it helps settle the body. You may feel your attention coming down more into your belly as you and just to go through the process, we'll find a couple of tender spots in your upper chest And this would be between the collarbone and the upper ribs. So you want to be above the ribs, between the collarbone and the ribs. Kind of massage around with your thumbs or your fingers and find a couple of tender spots. When you find those tender spots, just massage gently. So you're making little circles. You're not really digging in there or trying to change it in any way. You're just making little circles. This is an emotional reset point. And these points in here help move energy in the heart meridian. So for now, we're just going to take a big breath and exhale through the mouth. And then let's go up to the brow point. So where your eyebrows meet the top of the nose. We're going to breathe again. And you may find yourself yawning. I'm already starting to yawn. And then go to the temples and just tap lightly on your temples. You don't really need to do any massaging at this point, just light. You can just use one hand if you like, or you can use both hands. And then the cheekbones under the eyes. So tapping here. Again, deep breath in and exhale through the mouth. It's okay to shake a little bit if you want to come even more grounded. So tapping on the points under your nose, between your nose and your upper lip, where there's that little divot. And then under the lower lip, and that little dimple in the chin. And then here again, we're at the emotional reset point. So we're going to go in the upper chest, just tapping in circles all around. A lot of points here. And then down to just below, on the bottom rib, where it juts out the most. You can tap with two fingers. I hope you can see me, because for some reason I can't see myself on the screen. So here, and then the side ribs under the arms. So it would be around bra line if you were wearing one. And then let's go to the wrist. And so we go to the base of the wrist, where that little be on the outside corner of the wrist, and you can just tap your fingers across the base of the wrist, or you can just tap on that point, the base of the wrist there. Hope you can see my hands. And big breath. And now take your hand and have it up and down as if it was a karate chop hand, and tap on your thumb at the base of the nail bed. And then we'll go to the index finger, same place, tapping on the index finger. And tapping on the middle finger. And now the ring finger, which is the one finger where we tap on the underside. So it would be the earth side. I think of this finger as the little rebel here. It's the only finger where the tapping point is on the underside. And then go to the pinky finger. We'll go back up to the sky side of the finger where the nail meets the flesh. And then let's come to the edge of the hand where if you were karate chopping a piece of wood, that's the part of your hand you would use. Can you see okay? All right, okay. All right, so and then we come to the top of the head, sides of the head, the back of the head. There are lots of meridian endpoints, many that come up close to the scalp. And so we are tapping, when you're tapping on the back of the head, you're tapping on that more instinctual brain, fight, flight, fear responses. Okay, so that's one round. Good job, everybody. That's one round. So, any questions about that before we keep going? If you have a question, you can put it in the chat. Let's see. Okay, it looks like we're fine. Oh, you have a question. Wendy has a question. And do both hands. You can use both hands. Some people just tap with one hand. So tapping is a very forgiving process. It's not rigid in that way. And that's a good question. There are other tapping points, tapping modalities that people use slightly different points. No, you don't only just do one side of the hand. You can actually then do, can you see me okay? I'm not getting an image of myself. Okay, I don't know why. You can change hands just so that you get less tired. Yeah. So, and couldn't see your head when we were tapping there. Can you see my head now? Okay, so then you're tapping there. It's going to be top of the head, sides of the head, and back of the head. Yeah, that's good. I can see Anne's got it. Great. Any more questions? Let's see. There we go. It looks like that's, yeah. Okay. Great. Okay, so I'd like to just do a very gentle grounding meditation before we go full on into the tap. So again, another exhalation through the mouth, and bring your energy down into your heart. Bring your focus into your heart, and then into your upper belly. You're just sensing your upper belly, and then sensing your lower belly. Take a moment to feel into your sit bones, your sacrum, your tailbone, and your pubic bones. We're going to take a moment to feel the hip bones, the right and left hip bones, this whole region, this power center, the pelvic bowl. Very grounding when you really try to get a felt sense of the bones of the pelvis. So front to back, that's the pubic bone to the sacrum and the tailbone. And side to side, it's the right hip bone to the left hip bone. Sensing that this is a big bowl, it's a vessel, it's a container. So again, in Chinese medicine, the qi rests here in the dantian. This is our reserve tank of vitality and health, life force energy. So it's really helpful to tune in. In fact, if you want, you can put your hands over your navel. Just tune into that space, a couple of inches in the body, inside the body, and below the hand, below the navel. You can imagine a ball of qi there, of energy, of life force energy. We're going to be adding to that. We're going to be bringing in even more life force energy and wellness and vitality into the dantian as we tap. So from there, bring your energy down the bones of your legs, the femurs and the hip sockets, and all the way down the bones of the thighs and the lower legs. and into the feet, the ankles and the toes, and then down, down, down into the earth. So you can use your imagination or your felt sense to send roots deep, deep, deep into the earth, just anchoring in to the steadiness of the rocks and the stones and the ancientness of the earth. The earth is a presence, is the body that we are living on. We're running around like ants on this body that gives us life, Gaia. And then just invite this life force energy from the earth to come up through your roots, just as if you were a tree, and you're wicking up this life force energy, the matter, or mater, the mother that is earth, has all the minerals, all the material ingredients that we need for our bodies so that our souls can come and have this embodied experience. So you can open the gates of your feet, the soles of your feet, to just allow this chi, this life force energy, this earth energy, to come up into your body, all the way into your dantian, and up into your heart center. What you're receiving just by being. Then you can imagine your connection with the stars and the cosmos. We also come from the stars. Our bodies are made of stardust. So you can gently, in a really subtle way, just open the crown of your head, the top of your head, to receive benevolent, helpful, healing energy, wisdom, whatever qualities you're calling in from the stars, from the cosmos, from the ancient ones. Just with the filtering or stipulation, it's a boundary. Calling in benevolent, kind, and helpful beings and energies and consciousness, whatever's available. It's helpful to me and to the earth, all the creatures on the earth right now. And so can receive into the heart this energy from the earth and from the heavens, to be joined in your heart center. And the dantian, which for women is the area of the womb, is also, you can think of that as your lower heart. So it's the upper heart and lower heart up, as they light up. And you can also imagine or sense this column of life force energy that's lighting up your heart and your dantian area. It's a real source of steadiness and power, grounding in the body and in the etheric. Just take a moment to let that energy move through every cell in your body and surrounding you. You can create a field of energy around you that's protective, beneficial, loving, insightful, whatever qualities you'd like to invite in. You're creating a boundary of sorts energetically, So if you have particular protector guides that you work with, or a guide, or a tree or a rock, something that feels really safe, protective to you, you can call in that being in the imaginal, or it could be something real, an actual tree that you know, something physically manifest. Call in protective energy so that you can go deep wherever you need to go and be vulnerable and receive, knowing that you're in a trustworthy space where it's safe to open and receive and discharge during the tap. And I'm offering the intention, if you can join with me, if you would like to share it, that the benefits of this tap are multiplied to infinity and shared with all beings. And then when you're ready, you can come back present. And if you would like to tap into the chat line, any particular emotions, they started with emotions that you might be dealing with, you'd like to have included in the tap. It's a little distracting for me to try to do the chat at the same time, but I'm going to do the best I can. And oops. Joanna's must have fallen out and letting her back in. Okay, good. Check in. Joanna, are you in now? No camera, no mic. Okay. I'm going to trust that she is. So, would anyone like to request a particular emotion to focus on in this moment as we begin the task? Missing my grandkids, hungry to play with them, nervous energy. Okay, so I'll keep checking in with the chat as we go along, and we'll go ahead and start the tap. So let's come to the spots on the upper chest. Can you see me well now? Okay. Again, big exhalation. You can't really overestimate the power of a vocal exhalation through your mouth. If we only did that and tapped on our bodies, we would have a change in our emotions and in our energy level. So we're going to do what's called the setup. So I'll start the dialogue and you can repeat after me. Again, remember, you can change the words if the words I say don't apply to you. So it's a call and response. Even though I'm feeling all these feelings about the virus, about the quarantine, about the masks, about going back to quote unquote normal. I love and accept myself and how I'm feeling. And if that's a stretch, you can say I'm open to loving and accepting myself and how I'm feeling. So go with what's true for you. Sometimes we're not up to loving ourselves, and sometimes it's easy. Let's go to the brow points here. There's so much going on. So much crazy. Go to the temples. Even though I enjoy the quiet, I enjoy more stillness. Cheekbones. I miss my grandkids. I miss my family. I miss my friends. Under the nose. I want to have dinner with my friends. I want to be in live groups. We're on the chin now, chin point. And again, you can go at your own pace. If you don't follow me exactly, that's fine too. I feel a lot of grief about this and a lot of sadness about it. And I don't know, so we'll go to the upper chest. I don't know when this is going to change. There are things will ever be normal again. So bottom rib. Wait, I don't want things to be normal. So we're at the front of the body, on the where the rib joints out, juts out, and then the side of the body, the ribs, side ribs. Some things need to change. We need more stillness. We need more quiet, less hustle and bustle. We need to be kinder to the environment. There's so much unresolved here. Sometimes I feel really peaceful. And sometimes I feel really anxious. Middle finger, and I'm meeting myself with kindness. Even when my emotions are all over the map. Bottom of the ring finger. Sometimes I forget to stop and love myself and reassure myself. Pinky finger. Things are stressful right now. And I'm okay. I'm bringing all I've got to meet this stressful situation. Karate chop point. Let's go to the head, top of the head, sides of the head, back of the head. I'm missing my kids and my grandkids. I'm missing my friends. So you fill in the word. I'm missing my brother, missing my sister. You fill in the words. I'm missing my work. I'm missing my daily routines. Brow points. I'm missing the freedom temples to move about, drive into the city, drive out to the country. Under the eyes, I'm missing connection with people. Connecting online is wonderful. Under the nose. And sometimes I just want to hug or to hold hands or to dance with people. In person. And I'm bringing kindness to myself about this. And I recognize that I'm not the only one that feels this way. Being very gentle, tapping on the upper chest, very gentle, very slow. I'm calling in this place in me that's a loving, reassuring grandparent figure telling me I will get through this. Maybe I'm calling in an ancient grandmother from my lineage who's wise and grounded. Maybe she takes me on her lap and rocks me and just tells me this will pass. Bottom rib, life is long. And under the arms. And even though I'm worried about getting the virus, and I'm worried about the people I love getting the virus, I'm still bringing kindness to myself. Go to the wrist point. I'm really worried about the people I love and the people who are vulnerable. So the thumb, I have so many people that I care about who have autoimmune conditions, index finger, or who are elderly. I'm actually in that category myself. I share some of those vulnerabilities. Middle finger. And even though I accept that my death is inevitable, ring finger, I don't want to die this way. I don't want to die in fear. And I don't want my loved ones to die without me present to support them. Pinky finger, I want to be there for my loved ones. Karate chop point, I want my loved ones to be here for me. So the top of the head and the sides of the head and the back of the head. And it can be really scary to think that we couldn't physically be present together, even if we really wanted to. So much fear about that. So let's just tap on fear and anxiety. So you could use the word fear or worry or anxiety. This is called turbo tapping. And I feel like this is a big fear for almost everyone, that someone we love will get sick and we won't be able to support them or help them or hold their hand or comfort them. So come to the brow points and we turbo tap. You can just use those same words again and again. All this fear, this worry. You choose one. We'll do fear and worry at the very least. And if you want to tap something else in, we'll do that too. So all this fear, this fear, this fear. And then go to the temples. Fear, 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 fear. Come to the cheekbones. What we're doing is we're speaking what the subconscious is feeling, and that brings relief because the subconscious is like, oh, they're getting the message. Fear, fear, fear. So, once you really get the message and your subconscious knows you've got it, then you can start to settle down a bit somatically. Under the nose, fear, this fear, fear. Fear in my nervous system, fear in my body. So where do you feel this fear? Let's go to the chin, feeling fear in my belly, feeling fear in my throat, feeling tense in my heart, this tension, this fear. And if you sometimes belching, I just had a little burp come out, that's a sign of the nervous system resetting, just like yawning is, or sweating, or getting chills. Sometimes people get nauseous or start crying. All of that is actually a positive sign of change and release. So it's understandable that this is so intense for me. It makes sense. Go to the bottom rib. It's hard to talk about these things, much less tap on them. It's hard to feel the feels. side ribs. Sometimes I just notice those feelings and then I keep going. And that's okay that I do that. Completely understandable I would do that. These are big, big feelings. Let's go to the bottom of the wrist, tapping on that point there. I'm meeting myself with kindness and patience. This is the human condition right now. Let's go to the thumb. This is happening all over the world. These fears, this grief, these worries. Go to the middle finger, these anxieties. These are not unique to me. Bottom of the ring finger. It's very possible, very likely that all the feelings that I'm having, go to the pinky finger, and all the scary thoughts, karate chop point, are feelings and thoughts that most people in the world are feeling. Top of the head, sides of the head, back of the head. So it makes it more understandable why this feels so hard and so heavy. Feels so hard. Let's tap on that. I feel a charge there. Let's go to the brow points. This is so hard. These are really hard times. Hard times, temples, hard times, hard times. Hard times for so many people. Under the eyes. And even though I'm safe and I'm healthy and I'm well, under the nose, I'm a compassionate person. I'm an empathic person. Under the lip, an empathetic person. I feel so much for all the people who are suffering, all the people who are working in healthcare, upper chest, all the people who are working in the hospitals and the hospices and the nursing homes, including the janitorial staff, ambulance drivers, the doctors, the nurses, the aides, physician's assistants, all the people on the front lines, the people in the grocery stores, people in essential businesses. And I'm releasing from my own body, from every cell, and from my energy field, all the fears and worries that aren't even mine. Some part of me knows it does not help anyone for me to feel feelings that aren't mine right now. Go to the base of the wrist. Boy, I'm getting chills all over. So there's a big wave moving through the group right here now. I can still be a kind and compassionate person without taking on the pain of others. I don't need to viscerally take on their pain. It's possible. Let's go to the index finger. So with great kindness toward myself, I'm letting myself know that it's not helpful for me to feel other people's emotions. Middle finger, and it's certainly not helpful for me to take them on as my own. I'm giving myself permission. So the bottom of the ring finger, to release all the feelings and emotions that aren't actually mine. Releasing them to the universe, or you could say higher power, God, whatever word works for you. Releasing all these feelings that aren't mine. Because I know myself well, pinky finger, and I can still be a compassionate person. I am a compassionate person. I've lived this way for years. And it's okay for me to acknowledge this. And to know that I can be of better help at the top of the head, sides of the head, back of the head. When I stay centered and grounded, when I come back to my center and ground into the earth and meet myself with kindness, patience, brow points, and breath. Taking deep breaths now. Feeling my feet on the ground, my hips on the chair, grounding in with earth energy. Under the nose, feeling the steadiness of my bones. Emotions are watery. Let's go under the lip. I'm calling in the earth energy now. Steadiness. The steadiness of my bones to the upper chest. And knowing that all of the energies that are stirred right now will at some point come to rest. Energy always changes form. We have energy in motion right now. My emotions are moving. And I'm opening up space in my organs of my body to bring in the sensations of being centered, grounded, and protected. Go to the wrist point, even in the face of all these emotions, the worries, the fears. Some, I'm acknowledging that they exist and that they're real. And a lot of them are on a mental level. Index finger, and they can amplify like mushrooms without any real need to. It's not beneficial to amplify the worries and the fears. Go to the middle finger. So I'm giving myself permission to regulate my own nervous system, to remind myself that I'm safe right now. Ring finger, and that I'm allowed to be safe and well and healthy, and that I can actually be more effective. Pinky finger, when I'm well and centered and grounded, and letting the world and all the people in it have their experience. I can have compassion, and I do have compassion. and kindness for all the suffering. Through the top of the head, sides of the head, and back of the head, without taking on the suffering. It's possible that if I suffer more because of emotional contagion, that I'm not benefiting and no one else is either. I love and accept myself, even if I tend to be like a sponge, sponging up other people's emotions. And I'm giving myself permission, temples, to acknowledge those boundaries that we set at the beginning of the tap. Those energetic boundaries. Cheekbones, I can be aware of the suffering of others. I can be a benevolent being. I can be helpful. Under the nose, by staying in my own sense of safety and groundedness. Under the lip, and centeredness and well-being, and extending that out into the world. Let's go to the upper chest. I want to address this one other panic that a lot of people feel or worry about the leadership of our country and what's going on in the world, the state of governments. So, let's just say it. We need leadership. We need better leadership. Go to the bottom rib, calling on leadership that is wise. Bottom rib, compassionate, insightful. Under the ribs, one of the things that we're seeing in this time is that leaders of some countries are doing a lot better than leaders of other countries. And we happen to be living in one with very chaotic and unkind leadership. I'm acknowledging, so we'll go to the wrist, that as long as this person is president, as long as we're in this current political climate, we may have really poor leadership. We can't look to, go to the thumb, we can't look to the leaders who have such a strong platform of access to the whole population of the country and the world. Finger, index finger, we can't rely on the leaders who command so much attention, take up so much space in our heads and in the media. We can't rely on them to be wise, come to the middle finger, or safe, or kind. So we'll just tap a little on this ring finger. They're short-sighted. I'm going to say they're greedy, but use your own word. They're so money-oriented. They don't show compassion. Pinky finger, they're not modeling compassion. The top of the head, sides of the head, and back of the head. This is where I acknowledge my own individuation. I've done years of inner work on myself. And I'm a leader in my own right. And I trust my values. Brow points, and I'm open to connecting now. Even in this tap, this is a good example. Every person on this tap temples is compassionate, has some degree of wisdom, and cares. Wants what's best for the earth, cheekbones, and the people on the earth. Under the nose, including the animals and the plants. Under the lip, there's a lot of change that needs to happen here. And even though in my personality, sometimes I feel really despondent about it, anxious and depressed, even panicky. Big out breath. Lots of noise. I'm open to the possibility that my soul is wise. On the side ribs, there's a wiser part of me who's hanging in there. Come to the base of the wrist, who's agreeing to stay. There's a big part of me that wants to live through this, that wants to be here, even through these hard times, with so much grief and so much fear. Middle finger and such poor leadership. Ring finger. There's a part of me that really wants to live anyway. I have a strong spirit. Pinky finger. It's possible that I came here to know love and to have this human experience. Karate chop point, and learn what I can learn. And if I can learn to love myself through all of this chaos and fear and loss, I will have learned a lot. I'm learning to love myself no matter what's going on. Brow points, and I may be learning to hold on to my dream. Temples, the vision I have, the knowing I have in my heart and in my soul. Cheekbones, that we really can create a more beautiful world that our hearts know is possible. It's possible that this part of my consciousness is called the soul, that existed before I came into this body and will exist after I leave this body, is up to the task at hand. It's possible I can lean into my soul and hold the vision of this more beautiful world that I want to be a part of creating. Bottom rib, I'm already a part of creating it, or I wouldn't be on this tap. I wouldn't be in this group. I just want to see results. I want the world to be a better place now. I want trustworthy leadership now. I want wisdom at the highest levels of government and business What wise, compassionate people who care about the welfare and the well-being of all life. That's the world I want to live in. And I'm not going to lose that dream. Even though present circumstances could give me a lot of reasons to just give up. If I thought they were permanent, and if I really believe that nothing good can possibly come of any of this. Wait, I don't believe that. I believe something good can come of this. Even if the leaders aren't interested in something good. They won't be in office forever. Their, what should we say, their lack of prudence and wisdom will be revealed. Even if it's not on the timetable that I want it to be. Which is now. No, it's yesterday. It can be kind of hard to be a conscious person, or at least a person who endeavors to be conscious and take responsibility for what I create and for my emotions, my presence in the world, and see leaders not stepping up to do that. It's possible that the way I live my life is the kind of leadership that I'm looking for in the world. Let's go to the upper chest. I'm meeting myself with love and compassion. How would I feel right now if I were just kind to myself about all this? Bottom ribs. So much of this is out of my control. So much of this is out of my control. Like pretty much all of it. It's possible that a part of me has been thinking, go to the base of the wrist, that while I've worked, I want to say worked my ass off, I hope it doesn't offend anybody, but to get more conscious over all these years, that I expect other people to be doing that too. It's hard to have patience. And yet I can remember times in my life when I have been very unconscious. Even when I was in a leadership role, as a parent or a teacher or a professional of some kind, I haven't always been wise. I'm not even always wise now. And every time I practice being conscious and wise and kind, I'm moving more energy into that field. It's like a deposit in the bank. It's possible that even though our government isn't changing as fast as I want it to, that many, many people at the grassroots are changing. There are many people who believe as I do and who feel as I do. And I'm joining hands with them now. I'm calling on more connection with change makers. I'm calling on more support, staying true to my own heart and my own soul and my vision for the world, no matter what. Even when I see cruelty and ignorance and lying, and putting all of that in a contained space. This is where we're going to create another boundary that's beyond the protective space that you've created for yourself. So we created a protective field around us when we began, before we began the tap. So instead of going right into the core of the ignorance and cruelty, all the things we're seeing that are so unwise, the policies that are not helping in the government and in many of the governments on the planet right now. We're calling on the helper guides, the helper beings, whether it's the rocks. For me, I work with, right now I'm calling in Qigong masters to circle me for help. And also I work with the whales, the humpback whales, guardians and keepers of the Akasha. Create these spheres of protection around me and around my home. So let's renew the sphere of protection that you've created for yourself. Remind yourself it's there. And let's ask that helping energy, that boundary, to face the governmental officials, to face that type of consciousness or that energy. It has a particular energy to it. And we used some words for it earlier, unwise, greedy. I won't go over all those words again. I'm not going to invoke them, but there's a particular energy there. And let's call on helper, wiser beings. It could be relatives, ancestors that we know of or don't know of that have wisdom, that have been through plagues and pandemics and tyrants before. Call on those beings that know how to deal with these energies better than I do, and ask them to protect me so that I can go on creating what I'm here to create. And I can have some shielding from all that destructive energy. I know it's there. I can trust myself not to lose my compassion. I can trust myself to continue to do what I can to make the world a better place, a kinder place, no matter what the leaders in the government are doing. They're not going to stop me. I'm part of a grassroots movement that's happening all over the world. And even if we don't get a lot of publicity, even if we don't have a lot of money clout or voting clout at this moment, we're not going to stop, because we came here to be who we are. And we're doing the best we can to be who we are in this moment. Let's just take a moment and feel into your heart. I invite you to breathe in kindness, love, if that's available to you, as a felt sensation. Not so much a psychological thing, it's a felt sensation. feeling you have when you're feeling loved, when your heart is open. Go slowly breathing in through the heart and let it soften. Invite it to soften. Receiving love to all those places in the heart that are feeling in need, maybe a little ragged, a little raw. And we're calling in the chi from the stars and from the earth. The beautiful light, the sunset and sunrise, the sparkling light on a beautiful day. Healthy trees that we know. There's calling on nourishment for our hearts. We need this nourishment energetically, emotionally, so that we can feel it physically. Our love for the planet, our love for life. And this may also be transforming to gratitude, feeling that in the group. Love's still here. Let's go to the bottom ribs and tap. You can keep your hands on your heart if you prefer. Love is still here. Underneath all that noise, love and kindness is still here. Ribs. Kindness tends to be quiet. Love can be very subtle. As my emotions calm down, I'm better able to receive love. To remind myself that I'm worthy of love and kindness. If love feels too big, then kindness, oftentimes we can let kindness in, even a little drop, drop by drop. And I'm trusting that I am living through these times. Ring finger, bringing all I've got. There's things about it I don't understand. And I trust that I'm here because it's meant to be. And that I'm here to learn and grow. And that this is an opportunity for a lot of healing for me and for the planet. Even if I'm not seeing the results right now, I trust that the seeds are being planted. Okay, so just tap all over your body. And you can repeat that last line if you'd like. I trust that the seeds are being planted, that or you can say, I'm going to say 3 positive statements. Like, I release some difficult emotions today. I'm grateful that I showed up for this tap. This was a very intense tap. I'm beginning to see that I have resources I didn't know I had. Whatever your truth is, whatever makes sense to you. Take a moment here, and I'm going to stop the recording, and then we can have some time for sharing. To get to the right screen here. There it is, got it.